All right, we're going to go ahead and get this meeting started. It is January 28th, 2025 at 6 p.m. And we are downtown the Mill, beautiful Lake Stevens. We are both in person and online. And this meeting is going to be recorded and later published on our city YouTube channel. So with that, I would ask all to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Sure thing. Councilmember Tadjin? Okay. Councilmember Donahue?
Present.
Councilmember Daughtry?
Present.
Councilmember Peter Tegan?
Present.
Councilmember Shipman?
Present.
Councilmember Ewing?
Present.
Councilmember Dorset?
Present.
Excellent. It's been a while since I think we've had all 7 shiny faces here. It's wonderful. Cool. Let's go ahead and get an approval of the agenda, Council President.
All right, thank you. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda? Any changes?
Move to approve the agenda as written.
Okay, got a motion to approve
Second.
and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
You have an agenda, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, President. All right, and I don't see any guest business. We're going to go straight to citizens' comments. I know we have quite a few people. I've got just 2 greens. Was there more than 2 people in the audience that wanted to speak? Okay. If you do want to speak, there's a green sheet on the back. Just give it to the clerk for me, please. All right, we're going to open the floor to citizens' comments, both in person and online. And the way we do citizens' comments is we give you 3 minutes to speak to the council. And just for your acknowledgement, there's no back and forth on it. It's just us listening to you. And then we'll probably follow up with you after the meeting, depending upon if you need some follow-up. So with that, is everybody online? Keelan?
If there's anyone online that would like to address council, go ahead and put up your digital hand and I'll bring you in. I don't see anyone.
Okay, with that, let's start off with Dave Amlin. Go ahead and hit the podium for me over there. I don't think we have a microphone over there.
Thank you.
Dave, good to see you.
Mr. Mayor and City Council members, I'm Dave Amlin, Post Commander of the Lake Stevens American Legion Memorial Post 181. We're here tonight to have a few comments about the War Memorial. Our post have been able to handle the flags on the memorial ever since the first War Memorial was built. And we have continued to do that. We replace the flags every 6 months. And we also handle the half-staff requirements that come down from Washington, D.C. and from the state government like that. That's our commitment to the city and to our veterans in this area like that. We have heard a few comments and reports of the emblems on the War Memorial. We're going to be replaced with larger emblems. We are very happy to hear that. That's going to greatly enhance the visibility of the memorial like that. A lot of people visit that memorial, and the larger emblems would make it very easy to see it. And we just want to find out if when that plan is going to go into place. Secondarily, we're concerned about the maintenance. Dust and dirt appears on the memorial very frequently like that, and right now there's a lot of moss on it. And the dirt and debris that develops down there like that detracts from the appearance of the memorial. And with a number of people that visit that War Memorial like that, it needs to look real sharp. And our concern like that with some of the moss particularly growing like that, it just doesn't look very good. And we'd like to find out if some regular maintenance would help down there, maybe pressure washing, something to keep it clean and pristine. And that will help with our endeavor as far as keeping those flags fresh. With fresh flags on the memorial, you will never see a faded or tattered flag flying on that memorial. That's what it's all about. And we have been in contact with the Parks Department. We've asked them the same questions, and they're going to respond to us as what needs to be done. And our post is very willing to help step up to continue the work on this memorial like that. It's a fantastic structure, and we would like to see it stay as it is. And I will thank you for your time tonight like that and look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave. And thank you to the American Legion. You guys do so much in our community, not only the flags, but the flag ceremonies at all our games and all our ceremonies and our Memorial Day ceremonies. So appreciate all the work that the American Legion does in our community. Next is Steve. I'm not sure how to say your last name, Steve. Formals?
Yeah.
Okay,
very good.
go ahead and hit the podium for me and have 3 minutes.
Hello, thank you, Mayor, and thank you for council members for giving me 3 minutes to speak. As you know, Brett, I was at the Lake Stevens Sewer District meeting last week.
Yeah.
There was some questions brought up. I know it was slightly contentious. I brought up a couple of questions and I don't think I really had a correct answer or a right answer. And I thought I'd bring it up to the membership of the purpose of the tax. Is it a tax? It is going up 6% next year, I believe, is what I found out. I was also questioning how is this affecting senior people who are, able to do reduced sewer? Will this tax be the same or how will it be figured out by the sewer district based on the original or after they take the deduction? The third question I had was, after the city takes over the sewer district, will this tax go away of 6% utility tax that's placed on it? And then the last question I had was, how is this going to affect the schools? Because I know the schools are also taxed by the sewer. And it's a lot more than I originally thought it was going to be. And it will have an impact on the school district. So anyway, that was just a few things I wanted to bring up to the council to consider. And I thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, Steve. And what we'll do is we'll have either myself or someone from staff will follow up with your answers to questions.
Thank you.
You bet, Steve. Okay, I have no one else, anybody else online that wanted to jump on? Okay, great. Appreciate everyone's comments tonight. Let's move forward then to council business, council president.
Thank you. I will go ahead and start myself since I have nothing to report tonight, and we'll just go ahead and move on down the line.
Went to skit this morning. They're just talking about WashDOT projects and had a little bit about the light rail. There wasn't really much of a discussion except that they're worried about what's going on with the new administration and putting a freeze on all the financing right now. So we'll figure out how that goes. I can just wait and see. So it was kind of a boring presentation, actually. That's all I have.
Okay, Councilmember Peter Sagan.
Yes, last Thursday, I spent most of the day at the sewer district with the board of directors meeting and a workshop that took place. They were doing some cash projections, analyzing things into the future and as far as borrowing needs and rates and things of that sort. So as it was indicated, utility committee meeting, they're going to formulate their suggestions and run those by us at a later date. So, and then also we did have a utility committee meeting Thursday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon, excuse me. And as usual, always spirited discussion. So thank you.
Councilmember Shipman.
I attended the library board meeting via Zoom on the 16th. And there is an open seat on the library board that they would like filled by their next quarterly meeting. They only meet quarterly. And they said to check the city website. So I did a little research myself on that and it's a bit confusing. So if you go to the city website and you click on boards and commissions, the library board comes up. But when you click on it, it says the library board consists of 9 members who are appointed to a 4-year term. The library board meets quarterly in a hybrid format. There are 2 ways to participate: in person at the Mill, Sawyer's room, which is this room, or via Zoom. And then it says to be considered, click here for the application. And when you click here, it brings you to the application to apply to be on the board, but it doesn't say that there's a board vacancy. So it's a little bit confusing. So I wasn't quite sure who to direct that to maybe correct it. All right. Thank you, Caitlin.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Thank you.
So the new library, the springtime or the opening date, the timeline is spring of 2026. So not too far in the future. They're figuring it's going to take 15 to 18 months to complete it. And Faber Construction is a construction company that won the bid. During our big storm that we had recently, when a lot of people were out of power, the library served 270 customers, and they came in requesting everything from charging their cell phones to attending Zoom meetings that were scheduled, and some of them just simply to keep warm. So I thought that was pretty awesome that our library opened their doors to our community to help out during that time. They also had an outage on February 13th in the library itself, and they forged through with lanterns and still played Dungeons and Dragons. And one last thing on the board meeting is the Friends of the Library are looking to host a fundraiser. Their fundraiser is geared to raise money to help furnish the children's section of the new library, but they really aren't well-versed on how to put it together, where to move forward. So if anyone who has knowledge on creating that type of a fundraiser while keeping overhead costs down, they would appreciate if you could reach out and give them some advice. And then I also attended the board meeting. Well, I didn't attend it. I watched it on YouTube because I wasn't available that night. And like all their board meetings, the first of the month, they recognize students, they recognize staff, and highlight some of the amazing people in our district. And they also put an emphasis on the high school and Hillcrest Elementary, and they shared their goals. And the high school has a focus on increasing graduation rates, both schools improving test scores, with the biggest emphasis being on children feeling welcome and safe. The superintendent, Dr. Mary Templeton, also known as Dr. T, shared information regarding their new We Love Lake Stevens School rally. It was just held yesterday at 3 different locations throughout Lake Stevens. I attended the one that was on Lending Park. It was well attended, people driving by honking. There was no purpose to this rally other than to rally us together as a community in support of our schools. And the turnout was great. We had teachers, we had administrative staff, we had support staff at the school, as well as parents, community members, students. They had T-shirts, signs, Costco cookies, and Starbucks coffee to help keep us warm because it was kind of a chilly night. But they had a really, really good turnout. They're hoping to make this an annual thing, just as a way of bringing the community together to support the schools. And let's see, there was also a reminder to vote. Hopefully everyone's received their ballot. They are due on February 11th. They're having a question and answer night tomorrow. So anyone who has additional questions, it is from 5:30 to 6:15 at Skyland Elementary School. And then that will be followed by a 6:30 board meeting. And that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Georgestad.
Nothing for me tonight. Thank you.
Nothing to report from me.
All right, Councilmember Tagent.
Had an opportunity to meet with a couple business owners downtown. They're sharing some frustrations with all the construction and stuff. Sounds like we're going to talk about it tonight a little bit, but just some frustration coming out from business owners and blockage and not having the ability to get the flow of traffic to get to their businesses and stuff. So.
Okay, thank you. Back to you.
Great. Just a couple small things for me, just following the legislature and the session that's going on, just trying to watch several of our bills with our lobbyists, make sure that Lake Stevens' voice is heard in Olympia as much as possible, as much as allowed. And had a impromptu meeting this morning with the construction crew that was doing the pre-construction meeting so that they can start digging tomorrow at the library site. So that was kind of fun. Talk to those guys, see how they're getting ready to go. Good stuff. Great. Let's do what we're really here for tonight then and do our joint park board city council meeting. We're going to do that. Jill, are you kicking that off? Are you leading this?
I'd be happy
one?
to. Well, hello, council. Before you today is our Parks and Recreation Planning Board. We have 5 of our members here, and I'll let them introduce themselves in just a little bit. And I'll start with the board, which is Brian, but I wanted to just kind of go over some of the highlights of their work program last year, and then also just call your attention to the attachment of their proposed work program for this coming year. So in 2024, the Parks Board reviewed and made recommendations on our naming policy that had not been updated in many years. It was time for a refresh and also held a public hearing for the naming of Westlake Park and the Bayview Trail. Made recommendations on the department's grounds, maintenance and operations standards, and held engagement workshops and open houses for Eagle Ridge. And reviewed the 30% designs for Eagle Ridge and made comments and feedback for that. Reviewed and made recommendations for a park fee update. And also annually, they take a look at our comprehensive plan, Chapter 5, Parks and Recreation, and make any recommendations for that. And they did that all really well this year. So we're happy to I have an open conversation with the council and take any comments on their proposed work plan program for 2025. And so I'll start with Brian Heigert. He is was last year's board chair and is also this year's board chair. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. Brian Heigert, excited to serve another year as the chair with the park board. We're excited about everything that's going on in the city and getting to share in the experience and all the work that's being done here in the park. Let's go ahead and
the city is growing, as we all know, and we need more park space. Not little parks that are going with some of the buildings that go, but some bigger ones. Really necessary. Can't miss it in the future. Thank you.
I'm Roger Scholler. I've been on the Parks Board for well over 20 years. And Carl's right. We have a lot of small parks, but we need bigger parks because the community is growing so fast. We just opened up the Bayview Park. There's going to be a dog park. It just opened, but I was out there today. It's going to be a really great park. And I was walking to the end of it. I came across many people and asked them what they thought about the park. They just nothing but great reviews. And but we need something big like that. The skate park now is packed every day. I live up close there. Every day it's packed. And this Bayside Park or Bayview Park should be the same way. Lundine's passed. We just need a bigger park. And since that's day one since I started, we need more of a recreational park for the kids from the dog sporting. Plus, we get the baby. We have the Chiles Fields, which is great, but if you want to have tournaments and bring people into the city so they can see what the city is really like, I think we need to still look at that.
I'm Tina Decker and I've been on the board, I think 9 years. And I just want to tell the council and the mayor, thank you so much for always supporting the parks and recreation program because you have been funding us, you have been making it a priority, and we just want to encourage you to continue doing that because I'm going to echo what Carl and Roger said. We need more parks. And I'm sure Sarah tells you this all the time in her budget as well. But it's really important that we find some land and that we get that land sooner than later and open a bigger park, definitely in the south side, but we'll take as many parks as we can. And so I just want to put that out there. I also know that we were looking for the pump track and we did a study on a particular area and it's not good. It's not viable, but we're hoping that with your push that we might be able to get a pump track going pretty soon. And I'm going to pass it to Brian because this is his baby.
Yeah, I mean, I got to talk with the mayor and Costco the other day. That was.
Yeah, it's rare in there.
Yeah.
In the food court.
In the food court, yeah.
I like what all the other said. Definitely, I know there's challenges in the city with land, finding land. That isn't being developed into housing, so and the cost and it's extremely expensive, but anything that we can get, absolutely. And we'd love to see, continue that. I'm really excited about Westlake Park and the trail, connectivity to Marysville, getting that trail down to 20, connected with the continuing trail. I think things like that are going to be great. Getting ads from like a pump track somewhere along that route. Anything like that would be great. Any kind of bike trails. I think we've seen a huge growth in the mountain bike industry. BMX and I've been doing a lot of research. Port Angeles had a huge, wonderful pump track. Maryville was about using now quite a bit. Really nice jump line and pump track and along with all the gold trails, and it attracts a pretty large crowd of very diverse people. So I'm excited to see what kind of opportunities we have. Yeah, we're just as a park, we're excited to see what the city is doing and how we're growing and excited to be part of it.
Hey, Brian, for those who may not know, what is a pump track?
Thank you.
Yeah, a pump track is basically a series of berms and rollers that you pump over with your bike or with a scooter or a skateboard without pedaling. So it's just kind of big berms and rollers, and you can double and jump them. There's just a series of berms and rollers that you kind of perpetually go over. Yeah.
Is it
it's a lot of
paved?
fun. It is.
Yeah.
Typically they're paved. They can be dirt. It's incredibly good exercise. I started doing it instead of working out at the gym. I just started going to the Marysville, the Mukilteo pump track, and I lost like 6 pounds, and it's super fun. You don't feel like you're working out, but you're working up a huge sweat. So yeah, and you see little kids on, their little pedalless bikes and scooters and skateboarders and mountain bikers and, BMX riders. Everybody's out there doing it. It's the size of about 2 tennis courts. So it's not a lot of space. You can get it in a lot of different places. So, we're seeing them pop up quite a few places. Mukilteo, Marysville, Port Angeles, Leavenworth has a really nice one. The paved ones are pretty expensive, but in Washington, I think probably the best way to go because erosion with dirt and the rain around here doesn't last very long. So yeah, but I'm definitely excited to see what we can do to bring one to Lake Stevens.
So you said it's about the size of 2 tennis courts.
Yeah, the smaller ones. Yeah.
So what about making them long?
You could make them long. You can make them in as many different shapes as you can. They've got them up in Whistler. They've got them going through trees in the woods. It's just rollers and berms. You can put them anywhere in just about any shape as long as it kind of completes, a circuit. And typically there'll be multiple lines that you can take. The one in Port Angeles has bowls and different lines and like a wall ride and a bunch of different things. It's probably the best one in the state that I've seen. They have a really good one in Quincy as well. Evergreen Mountain Bike Alliance, the Shire built up in Bellingham. They built some, and then yeah, they're all different. So everybody usually does a different shape or a different type. Velo Solutions builds the majority of them. They're from Europe, and you'll see them. They have like the red lines that go across the top of the pump track. They built the one in Leavenworth. They built the one in Port Angeles. Shire built the one in Marysville. They also build a bunch of trails in Bellingham, so they've got a lot of experience building them. Evergreen Mountain Bike Alliance has built a number of them as well. They built 2 in Wenatchee and one in the one in Quincy. So yeah, they're all over the place. Most of them are paved. The one in Mukilteo is dirt, and they have a bunch of dirt jumps along with it, but they're working on getting that one paved eventually.
So if you go to Marysville, is it Jennings Park?
Yeah, it's in Jennings Park.
So if you go to Jennings Park off of, what is that, 64?
64, yeah.
And you go, they've got a new playground, but if you go behind the new playground over on the hillside is their little pump track.
It's definitely not big, but
It's not big.
That one's
but
one of
it's
the
great.
smallest one.
Yeah.
Yeah. My 2-year-old on his kick bike crushes it. He's all over that thing.
So just for people to know, so the 2 tennis courts is about 1/10 of an acre.
So give people an idea how big that is, about 40.
I was just thinking about making them long but I think, down Bayview Trail, basically, there's other space there. We could do a pump track that goes long, but the problem is that you're trying to bring it back to your crossing.
Yeah, I think
They
there's
might
some
have
space
pedestrians
under
going
the
on.
Bayview where we could fit some of this in here. We just got to figure out where it is.
It seems like it'd be easy to put one in there somewhere,
Yeah.
especially on the west side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, so the one in Port Angeles, they'll have like pump track competitions and they'll bring people in and they have, along with the, I think it's the Northwest Cup, mountain bike races. They bring in people and have pump track competitions and, it drives a little bit of the economy for Port Angeles there. You can bring stuff in there as well. There's a circuit of races that they're hosted by different cities that have pump tracks.
Done.
My name is Dawn Williams, and this is my second year on the board, and I'm just grateful to be in such great company. So thank you.
Great.
So before you, you have their 2025 work program. They're proposed for your review and any input on that. It's all been laid out. It's pretty straightforward. But if you had any input on that, one of the items I will call out is the PROS plan development. The PROS stands for Parks and Recreation Open Space Plan. You have approved us some funding in our budget to get that going. And that plan will really be important in a lot of ways of setting our service levels and then also doing robust public outreach to check our goals and policies against what is needed and desired by our community. And it also will give us a really in-depth look at what we're providing and any gaps that we need to fill in that. So that will be a pretty large undertaking and the Parks Board will be involved in that effort. And we are looking forward to that. So thank you.
So a question on the plans on Eagle Ridge. So we've had plans for that for years. When we finally started putting that all together. Does the plans include the lower trail that goes out to Lundin?
The extent of our development on that project is just the upland portion of it.
Just the up-
But there will be wayfinding signs related to the trail, the downhill trail. And then we'll be looking for ways of just improving that as a soft surface trail. But there's no development proposed for that area.
Internally, I will add, though, the department is looking at making sure we have GIS layers for all of our trails and marketing for trails. And so you will see that over the next year happen as well.
So is that trail that goes all the way down from Eagle Ridge down to Lundin Park, is that city developed or is that, because I've also seen others making their own trails through there. I don't know which, if that was city driven or others. that were
Anthony
doing
Trails?
Anthony Trails.
Anthony Trails?
It is, there is a city directed trail that's through there that goes from the about mid park down to down the downhill portions of it to Lundin Parkway.
Okay.
Could I add something on that? The trail was originally, the trail went down there and the Boy Scouts came in there and the Department of Corrections came and cleared the trail. And so there was a nice trail and the Boy Scouts built like some platforms and stuff like that, but it just kind of just all deteriorated, which is fine too. But yeah, there's no actual nice trail going down there anymore.
For the Cedarwood, have there been discussions about the alternatives at all for that?
We are bringing forward, we have started our public outreach for that to do our needs assessment of what the public would like to see there. So we went door to door and then we held a meeting, put out a survey as well for that. So we're still gathering data of that and then we'll be putting out a design RFP is the next step on that one.
Yeah.
Anything else for Park Board?
I just have a quick question on the North Cove boat launch dock. Is that focused on the dock alone, or are we going to be, restriping that parking lot, improving our signage in that parking lot? I know during the summer, we have very limited trailer parking. And oftentimes we have cars parked in the, trailer spots. But if you look around, the signage isn't real clear. And I mean, people may be doing it intentionally. I mean, I don't know, but I could easily see where they would just think, oh, okay, well, this is probably for the trailers, but I can park here too. So I was wondering if while we're improving that dock, if we are also going to work on the parking lot and making that a little bit clearer as to what it's used for.
That is separate from the capital project of the dock that you see on this list, that will take 3 to 4 years likely to complete. We will be looking this year, in conjunction with Public Works. There was a meeting recently to talk about striping, and I believe one of the engineers is looking at possible new striping and how to reconfigure that so that we can discuss it. We also have a multi-phase approach to that, where the police have been working on a code revision so that we can enforce parking at the boat launch. We will be working on signage. We actually have some ordered, but need to get it installed for trailer parking only. And then we also have new signs that will be going out here in the next month or so for fee area and designating when you enter and exit that area. So we have several things happening around that capital project.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just want to say thanks for your service, and I agree with you, Carl. I'd love to have more room for parks and so forth, and the funds seem to always be tight to get more parks and stuff, but I know that every chance we get to acquire more land, we do. So thank you for your service and making our parks such a viable place for everyone in Lake Stevens.
Tina had another comment.
I cannot believe I forgot to say this, but to Sarah. She's phenomenal. As you know, you wouldn't have hired her if you didn't think that. And just can't give her enough praise for how she has developed taken it wasn't a department, it was a entity, and build it into this amazing department. And I want to also say thank you to the council for continuing to support her, get her the resources she needs to grow this into a grown-up park division. And so I also want to say to Jill, she's amazing too. I am sure it's not easy to do all this planning that she does, but she makes it look easy. And so when she comes to the meetings, she's always prepared with Sarah. They always are able to answer all our questions, and they're amazing. So thank you for giving us such wonderful people to work with.
Anything else, Jill?
I don't have anything else.
Anything, council members?
I just also wanted to add my appreciation to every one of you and the other members of our parks staff that are not here tonight. You guys all do an amazing job. I so much that people come here from outside the area to visit our parks. One weekend, I just went out to the parks and was just talking to people, and I was shocked. The minority of the people at the park were Lake Stevens residents on the weekends during the summer. And I actually talked to a couple of people who were driving down the highway, and they just Googled great parks in the area to stop. And guess where they stopped? So, and this is a huge tribute, like you were saying. I mean, especially as quickly as all this has grown into, as you say, an adult department. But I just want to express my thanks for everyone in this room, as well as those that aren't here tonight, because you all do an amazing job.
Here, here.
Well, I just like to say our parks, our Lundin Park especially, it must be really good because it was 20 degrees outside and that dang playground was full. People trying to get their kids out of the house, I guess, but man, it was cold outside. But they were just going crazy out there. So it's a great park. Thank you for everything you do.
Great. Hey, well, we want to appreciate you all coming in tonight and being away from your families. And Tina, I appreciate your words. We were kind of iffy on those two, but now I think we're sure that they're doing good work. So I appreciate that, Tina. No, they're doing great work, and it's fun to watch an embryonic parks department build and get big and do what it's supposed to be doing for our citizens. So, and that is only helped by the board. So appreciate it. Great. You can stick around for the rest of the meeting. It probably won't be that long. It could be kind of fun. And, or you can see what's at home on the kitchen table or wherever you want to go do. So, all right, let's move to the, city department report. Aaron Halverson talking about Millspur.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Give me just a minute to get myself organized. Okay, good evening, Mayor and Council, and those of you in the audience. My name is Aaron Halverson. I'm the city's Public Works Director. This will be a really brief summary of some work we're doing with the neighborhood here on Mill Spur. And I just wanted to highlight some program changes and some things we're doing to sort of hopefully better serve the community. And this is the first example. A long time ago now, what seems like back in November, we met with the neighbors who live around Mill Spur because many of them raised concerns about traffic issues on Mill Spur and at the boat launch. We heard those concerns and again met with them the evening of November 6th, and they brought up some concerns. And I'm sharing the handout that's in front of you as well. They noted that there's speeding on this short stretch of roadway, and I believe them. I think that's right. Taking a step back, the staff who were there were obviously myself, the Public Works Director, our city engineer who's behind me, the chief of police and the Parks Director. They were all there listening to these neighbors talk about their concerns. So it's a thing that's a concern to us. So they said there's speeding, there's blocking of the roadway, there's loitering after hours, 4+ days per week, especially in the summertime, but even in the winter. There's noise, confrontations, and police avoidance. By police avoidance, they don't mean the police are avoiding it. They mean people are pretty good about realizing when the police are coming and they make a quick exit. And then we said, listen, give us your ideas. And the residents said, well, any sort of traffic calming might help. Speed bumps, removable speed bumps, perhaps. Traffic calming devices, added signage, so no idling areas, additional no parking, no cruising signs, some additional striping near the boat launch, which we've implemented some things now and we'll be doing more. Hours and time limits, and then a government call to action. Do something, close the gate, stop the loop, especially in the evenings, add enforcement in the evenings. It was actually pretty interesting. We've created this really great space downtown where we want people to congregate most of the time, except for in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
But we have all these wonderful lights that make it really appealing, especially if you're an 18-year-old with a really cool, Audi and you have rims and you want to get lights and pictures taken. It draws those people in, but when they leave, they're not quiet. And when they're here, they're not quiet. So we need to accommodate the neighbors who live here and make sure that, we're supporting them. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to draft some solutions. We already have some from last month, from December of last year. We're going to have a public hearing with the council in March. This is on the back side of that sheet, which will bring our preferred solution alternatives to the council. And this is a requirement of our traffic calming code. We've not done this with this council as far as I know. So this is a regular procedure. It's codified. Staff listen to the complaints. We come up with solutions. We bring traffic calming solutions to the council. Council gives us the high sign to go implement, and then we'll go ahead and implement in the spring of this year. That's really the update. I know it's really brief. Any questions?
Is there a scheduled follow-up with these residents so they're aware of what steps we're taking?
Absolutely. So they've given us their suite of solutions. We're going to design some fixes. We're going to circle back with them prior to the public hearing with the information, the things we'll recommend so that they know what might happen. And then obviously we'll share the outcome of the public hearing.
What's the timeline on that?
What is the timeline?
For the public hearing.
No, for any public outreach.
So when this flyer was mailed to all the residents that were in the neighborhood that were invited to the public meeting, that also came and signed it as well to kind of highlight that what's taken place since November, what the next steps are for the timeline. There's contact information. So hopefully they're well informed if they want to reach out between now and then.
So we have, we created obviously we got their contact information, so we have a mailing list. So I would expect that prior to the March public hearing, we would communicate our suggested changes so that they could certainly attend the council meeting and say, here are the things we like, council, and participate. Great questions, Councilmember Ewing.
I hear roundabouts slow traffic down. It's slow.
Roundabouts would slow down the mill spur traffic.
So each intersection, St. Marcus?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a joke.
I laughed. And the reason I brought it to you guys tonight is we're going to do more of this. Now that we have a full engineering team, we're going to be doing more of these public hearings, and you're going to be hearing about traffic calming efforts, not just downtown, but across the city. And there are at least tens of requests for traffic calming that we're receiving in ViewWorks now that we have this public portal through Citizen View. And by the way, if you want to get in contact with Public Works, there's an app for that. It's called Citizen View. If you search it in your app, preferred app library, you should be able to find it. And you can communicate directly with Public Works and ask for service there. But anyway, we're getting more and more of these requests. We're going to do more and more of this work.
All right, great. Any other questions for Aaron?
I would mention one last thing is the community of Seabrook, if you've ever been there. They use a lot of different road textures and so forth that causes confusion, which slows people down. So I did a tour through Seabrook and he said they specifically use different textures on the road. So cars wonder if they're supposed to be driving on it. So then they instantly slow down. So the confusion of textures on the road, whether it's brick or whatever, slows people down because they are like, am I supposed to be driving in this area or how does that work? So that was something they used to calm traffic to that community.
Well, I'd agree that that would work, but we have a lot of confused drivers already.
I agree with you.
I mean,
So
they're
does-
confused about what the speed limit sign means, you know.
And Aaron, I just wanted to give you a little feedback on Citizens View.
Sure.
I've used that app a handful of times and it's super user friendly. First of all, very, very easy to use. There's a spot you can upload a picture to kind of show what you're talking about. And your department has gotten back to me, not every single time, but a few times they have. And I've used it for everything from litter blocking our outlet stream to a dead animal on the road, trees down, anything like that. And it's a really good resource, and whoever developed the app did a good job. It's very user friendly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Brad, I just want to add too, like, it's really impressive. Like, so last week we had planning commission, this week parks, we have really incredible citizens that provide their input. And so this is like kind of a subset in my view of, you know, like parks or someone to come in and say, hey, this is a concern we have. This is something we need to help with. They provide the input. And so they provide invaluable assistance to us to have extra eyes and ears to say, hey, you know what, these are our solutions. And then we work with the people who are experts in their field, you know, our staff, and then they come up with a really good solution. So I continue to see some momentum built in that area. It's really cool to see.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Anything else? Great. Good job, Aaron. Appreciate your work.
Thanks.
You and your staff.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion to approve the consent agenda and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're going to go into executive session. How long are we in for executive session?
So we have 3 topics and they've asked for 30 minutes.
Okay, can we describe the topics and if there is action to follow?
Yes. So council is going to adjourn into executive session for potential litigation and property acquisition under RCW 4230. There will be action to follow, and they've asked for 30 minutes worth of time. So it's 6:45, couple minutes to clear the room. Do we want to say 7?
25?
5? Yep, so
7:20?
coming back at 7:20.
Okay.
Is that enough time?
Because so what we do, for those who don't know, during executive session, we clear the room. It's just the council members. And we will re-adjourn in 30 minutes at 7:20 with action to follow. And then at that point, we'll adjourn the meeting and be done. All right.
Specific county description, you guys looking for somebody? You're not here?
We are back from executive session and we have two motions, three motions. Go ahead.
Okay, first motion. Could I please get a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the purchase and sale agreement for the property at 2326 Soper Hill Road?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, or any discussion?
Yeah, create some discussion on this, please. That is a good idea.
It's a great idea.
Yeah,
Yes, I agree.
perfect.
More parks are better.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next motion, could I please get a motion to approve the settlement and release of claim agreement with Edmark Chiropractic in the amount of $4,974?
So moved.
Okay, motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Final motion, could I please get a motion to approve the settlement and release of claim agreement with Husby Homes? Did I say that right? In the amount of $3,338.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Great. And so with that, I ask the council to adjourn, motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Doesn't do